Okay, once we've storyboarded our site, we need to worry about the rest of the process. And the next step in that process is to actually do what's called wireframing. And traditionally, in a more professional environment, we would probably actually be doing this in a program like Photoshop or something else where we can actually create layers and move them around and resize them and that sort of thing. For this class being an introductory class, I think pen and paper works fine. So that's what we're largely going to talk about. So for each one of your pages, you have to consider what layout you actually want to have. So if we consider our page sitting on the screen, what we want to do is actually now figure out what do we want where. So maybe I know I want a header image across the top. And then after that header image, I know I'm going to have a nav row so that people can get around the site. And then after that, I know I want some text and another image. And then maybe I'm going to alternate those down my page with main areas. Right? That might be one page, or that might be a page that somebody comes in on. And then once I know that particular page, I can come in and actually work on my next page. So to go back to the example that we used in the storyboarding video, we can actually have this out, and as we go from our main hiking page to actual locations, maybe I still want that banner image across the top. I'm still going to have my nav across. So those elements stay the same. Okay, in which case, when I'm doing my pages, I can keep that bit of code and just save a template across so that no matter what page I'm working on, that actually comes out and I don't have to recode that every single time. So now one of the things that I want to do is actually say, okay, for here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an actual location. And I'm going to have a big long paragraph for this. Maybe I want to put a picture inside that. And so now I know where everything goes. Now what I have to consider is, now do I want to wrap around that and wrap an article around that, or maybe a div. And so this is why we call it wireframing, because you end up with all of your little boxes from the box model that we talked about. You want to see all of those little boxes that you intend to use on these wireframes. Okay? So as you continue to build out your page, what you need to do is have 3 different looks on your pages. So usually that's your main page, and then each one of your subtopic areas will typically have a different look. Right? It's so, again, from the hiking example, the locations and the safety subtopics would each have their own look, so you would go along and develop one of these wireframes for each of those. Right? So work on that, get started, bring them to class. We'll have a chance to share those and then get some critique and refine them a little bit. And then what we'll get into is, now that we know where we want stuff, how do we actually get it there with the CSS? All right? Any questions? Feel free to ask. Bye.